and breathing out, creating a bell shape with those ribs. Right? So imagine perhaps just draping over a pillow or over a beach ball. One more breath. And then a full breath out. When you're ready, take your left arm up to meet your right. Bring your chin to neutral, look at the horizon. And then as you exhale, both hands back down to the earth. Take your right hand off your right hip. Sweep your left arm up to the sky. When you're ready to exhale, look over your right shoulder, taking that left pinky finger down. Breathing in. And out. Inhale, anchor left hip. Exhale, bowing out under those right ribs. One more breath. On your next inhale, right arm meets left, full breath all the way in. And then as you exhale, hands to heart center. Coming onto your hands and knees and finding yourself into tabletop pose. So you can either activate your feet or not here, it's totally up to you, whatever makes you feel stable, yes. And then pressing down with your palms, down with your shins. Take a nice deep breath all the way to exhale, first time, downward facing dog, all the way back. Nice. Allow your gaze to float up to your navel or between your knees, whatever works best for you at this point in the practice. Making sure that it feels natural. Right, so we don't want to hold the chin in towards the chest, but if possible, looking between the knees or up to the navel center. Very nice. When you're ready, first one today, let's come into a high plank position. Look for breath. Lower the left knee down into the sand, placing your hands onto your lower back as you begin to straighten up and stack the shoulders over the hips. Drawing your pubic bone slightly forward, tailbone slightly down. Nice. Only if possible, on your next inhale, taking your hands off your hips and sweeping them up to the sky. Take your time. So looking for level shoulders, level hips. On your in-breath, if your arms are up overhead, you want to think about reaching up. And on your exhale, think about pubic bone slightly forward. Right, so we want to minimize the sway out of the lower back and strengthen the pelvis. Beautiful. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, hands down to the mat. Taking your left knee off the mat if possible. Placing your left hand down to the inside of that right foot. And then on an in-breath, sweeping that right arm all the way up to the sky. Thinking about your lower left ribs coming under and your upper right shoulder coming back. Beautiful, Joseph. Perfect. Finding your space, breathing into your body, no one else's. Making room so that you can fit this evening. Gorgeous. One more breath. And then when you are ready, look at your right hand down. Stepping your left foot to meet your right arm to the top of your mat. Breathe in. And when you're ready to breathe out, hit it. Let it go. Nice. If you have lower back issues, if you have tight hamstrings, bend your knees a lot. One more inhale. And then a full breath out. Beautiful. Come on up. Let's get a half lift. Look forward with your eyes, not so much your head. Placing your hands to your lower back. Press down into your feet. Rise up through your heart center. And then exhale. All right. Here we go. Inhale. Reach up and breathe. On your exhale, hip hinge and fold all the way down. Coming up for a half lift, stepping back with your left leg, coming back into that nice high lunge position. Now this time, only if possible, hooking your thumbs, coming all the way up into our full high lunge. Nice. Notice if you're bringing your whole shoulder girdle up with you, or can you just take the arms and bring the shoulder blades down your back body. That's it. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, hands down to the earth. Beautiful. Step it back into a downward facing dog, gaze floating back or up to the navel center. Spinning your armpits in just a tad to broaden the upper back. And then maybe noticing whether your heels are coming down towards the sand or not. Please don't force them. If you find your mind darting all over the place or you're easily distracted this evening, stay with your breath. Notice if you can count your breath, perhaps starting to count your breath backwards from 5 to 1. Taking about 30 seconds here in this child's pose. One more inhale. And then a full breath out. Beautiful. Come on back into your tabletop position, nice and easy. And then finding your feet, returning back into your downward facing dog, hollowing out your hips just a little bit. Excellent. Spinning your armpits in a little bit more to broaden that upper back and allowing the chin maybe to just draw towards the chest, just a tad. I mean, we don't want to hold it there, but we do want to feel that connection of the neck being completely open. All right, let's add on to the practice, raising your left leg just about hip height. Very nice. One out of your knees, only if possible. Again, if you have any lower lumbar issues or very, very tight hamstrings, please protect yourself. Otherwise, just see what happens. Maybe opposite hand to opposite elbow, or holding your hands down around the outside edges of your feet. Nice. One more in-breath. And then a full breath out. Beautiful. Come on up for your half lift. Look forward. Hands to your lower back. Press down into your right leg. Hit that high lunge position again. So maybe make that little sand wall behind you. And then hooking your thumbs, if you can, coming up into the moon pose, right? Pose of the 8 moons here. And then rather than gripping, see if you can just let your body relax. Feeling as if you are suspended. Allowing the air to lift you up. Nice. Notice if you're clenching in your jaw. Notice if your eyes are shutting. Or can you lift your attitude and your gaze? Beautiful job. One more in-breath. And then as you exhale, hands down to the mat. Now listen up. I'd like you to step to the top of the mat, please. Come on up. And then exhale, hinging and folding. Last one. First time today, going wide and high on that strong reverse swan dive. Up you go. Reach up and breathe. And then as you exhale, come on down into your chair pose. So Utkatasana. If you can, look down. You should be able to see your big toes. It may be easier if you can press your knees together. If pressing your knees together causes you any discomfort in the knees or in the hips, open up the feet so that they're directly under your hip bones. We don't want to create any tension, right? So this expansion is for just that, freedom, for peace, right? And it's not looking for a perfection of the pose. It's looking for the perfect pose for you, where everything quiets down in your mind, your breath comes full, and your body feels very, very strong. Excellent. One more in-breath. And then a full breath out. Beautiful. We're going to straighten out that right leg, nice and steady, very calm. And then we're going to take the right fingertips over the right hip as far as you can go. And then when you're ready to exhale, it's going to be Trikonasana. So the right eye looks up to the left thumb. And then perhaps allowing yourself to get drawn into the sky. Remembering that once we look up at the rod that was through the top of the head to the tip of the tailbone, it still exists. One more in-breath. And then as you exhale, hands down to the mat. Beautiful. Step it back into a high plank position. Lowering down through your Ashtanga Namaskar or your full Chaturanga, whatever suits you. Upward facing or cobra, take your time. And then through your knees or straight back to downward facing dog, allowing the head to relax, gaze is lifted, and tapping into the quality of your breath. And then also perhaps noticing where you're deviating to. Nice. Lower left ribs moving forward. Upper right shoulder moving back. Crown of the head on a downhill motion to the tip of your tailbone. Legs are active. Abdominals contracted. Pelvic floor lifting. Beautiful. Think about the back of your head in alignment with your spine. So if your heart is facing down, take your left hand a little bit higher so that your heart can face up. One more breath. And then a full breath out. Nice and easy coming back into your warrior two. So bend deeply in your left knee. Spin your gaze back out toward that mild buoy. And then the right hand on the right hip. Left arm sweeps up. As you exhale, look over your right shoulder, spinning your left pinky finger down if you can. So breathing through the entire side of these left ribs, opening up the connective tissue, opening up the fascia, allowing the body to find room from the inside out. Gorgeous. One more breath. And then on an exhale, left forearm to left thigh, right arm up to the sky, left eye looks at that right thumb so that the alignment is there, especially the back of your head, staying with the alignment of the spine. And then if it's possible, maybe left hand down, right bicep over your ear. Nice. If your right bicep is over your ear, make sure your palm is facing down and your pinky finger is slightly turned under. Excellent. Try to keep that right arm straight if you can. Really lengthening. Beautiful. One more breath. Right hand down to the mat. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Right where we started. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Breathe in. And then exhale, breathe out, hands to heart center. Take another breath. And then right tricep over the left thigh. Last time. Seeing if you can find just a little bit more room in your body. Keep your eyes open and look towards the north edge of the beach. Breathing in and breathing out. One more, inhale. Full breath out. Very nice. When you're ready, come on up for a half lift. Look forward. Hands to your lower back, please. Press down into your feet. Come all the way up to standing. And then exhale, hands to your side body. Nice. Let's do that again. Inhale, sweep up and breathe. And exhale, hip hinge and fold. Coming down. Nice. Now this time, once you're down there, if you'd like to get another half lift to look up, you may decide to take your peace fingers to your big toes or taking your hands to the outer edges of your feet, whatever suits your needs here. If your hamstrings are tight, remember to bend your knees. Everybody's feet should be slightly pigeon-toed. No pulling, no yanking, no tearing. We just want to get a nice stretch in our back body to the best of our ability. Make sure that you're not cheating yourself out of this sea breeze. So make sure that that ujjayi breath is coming in and out through the nose. And perhaps just paying a little bit more attention to your exhalations. The exhalations will help us release. It will help left shin parallel to the top of the mat. Please don't pull on the knee. Just see where it goes. And then when you're ready, supporting with the hands, lower your body down. Doesn't touch the sand, stack your fist or stack your hands, whatever works for you, so that your shoulders can come away from your ears and you can just relax in the breath. Relax in the sound of the beach, the smell of the beach, the taste of the salt, the feel of the wind and the sunlight on your back body. Nice. So the left foot is now into your inner right thigh. We're going to double up here today. If you have a half lotus or a half lotus bind on this posture, certainly go for it. It is the second time. Otherwise, just come on up. Stretch those arms up to the sky. You're going to take your right shoulder back a little bit as you draw the lower abdominals in and lift up on your pelvic floor. And then on an exhalation, coming down, cascading over that front right leg. Seeing if perhaps you can recall how you felt when this was about our third pose in class this evening, and just see how it feels now. Maybe there's not much of a physical change, but maybe your mind is much more peaceful. Maybe your breath is much stronger and in a much better rhythm, right? So it's not just about the physical. In fact, that's really the last part of this. See if you can continue continue to slide your shoulder blades down the back of your rib cage. And thinking about that golden line from the top of the head to the tip of the inhale, sweep your right arm up to the sky, big breath. And then as you exhale, right tricep over your left thigh now. Maybe the right hand to the heart center. Maybe looking over the back shoulder. If you're in modified position like I am, make sure that that right foot is flexed and your toes are towards the sky. On your inhale, breathing in to sit up very, very tall. And then on your out breath, hooking the right tricep just a little bit deeper into that outer left thigh. Your left hand could be behind you like a second spine. That might help. One more breath. And then a full breath out. Come on into center line, inhaling. Place your left leg down on the ground. Let's bring the right leg in, back into that Jana Shirshasana. Again, if you have a half lotus or a half lotus bind, take care of yourself here. Otherwise, right foot into your inner left thigh, both arms up to the sky. Engage your belly. Lift on your pelvic floor. Take your left shoulder back just a tad. Inhale, left foot flexed. And then out breath over the front leg. Drawing the hands somewhere on the body, on the mat, so that you can create a little bit of resistance. Working with your exhalations to let go. Breathing in and breathing out. With your mind's eye, scan your body from the top of the head all the way down to the tip of the tailbone. Make sure that you're not hunching in your shoulders. I don't care how far down you look like you're going. What I'd love to see is the lower belly onto the top of that left thigh. Maybe that's it for today. Nice. Shoulders are breathing. Mind is quiet. One more in-breath. And then a full breath out. Excellent. Come on up. Follow your inhale. We're going to step onto the sole of the right foot. Again, lots of options. The right foot can come close to the right sits bone, on top, or bend that left leg back. Try to choose the same option as you selected for the first time around, if possible. If it's not, then obviously do whatever you need to do. Left hand to the sky. Big breath. Left leg engaged if you're staying with me. Left tricep over the right thigh. Right hand behind you. Straighten that left arm, right eye to left thumb. And then drawing the hand into the heart center as you look over your back right shoulder. Try to keep your gaze down the tip of your nose. Sitting up really tall on your in-breath, so maybe pressing that right hand down to create a little bit more leverage. And then as you exhale, create that torque by engaging the abdominals. Try to feel the all of your right foot, please. The tendency is to lean to one side or the other. Usually it's the pinky side that we start to lean to. Try to step on the whole foot. One more breath. And then a full breath out. Nice. Come on into center line. Both legs out in front of you. Paschimottanasana, heaven to earth. Inhale, reach up. In fact, hold up here for just a moment. Bend the knees a little bit so that you can engage your hip flexors. So feeling this hip hinge. Toes are strong, shoulders are down, chin is neutral. Get another breath because you can. And then as you exhale, lower belly to the thighs, hands to the feet or the calf or the blanket. Inhale, crown of the head away from the tip of the tailbone. And then exhale, straightening out the legs and perhaps drawing the body down just a little bit more. Notice where you're holding, if anywhere. Notice where the body might still feel a little bit constricted or a little bit stiff yet. Take your time to cycle the breath through the body, drawing your attention to the parts of the body that just need that little bit of extra. Extra breath, extra mind space, extra compassion. And then a full breath out. All right, nice and easy. Let's see if we can do this as graceful as possible. So come on up, bending your knees. We're just going to roll to the knees. I would like you to take a camel pose here. So finding your knees and the tops of your shins, and then bringing your hands behind you. Because of that moon, I can't not let you guys see it. So I want you to imagine the sunlight drawing into your heart as you begin to back bend. See if you can see that almost full moon behind you. So take a nice full breath all the way in. Support your lower back. And then as you exhale, bring your pubic bone and thighs forward and see if you can relax back and see that full moon coming up over the ocean. Or something like that. One more inhale. And then a full breath out. Take a breath, sit back into your child's pose. We're going to look at the moon again in one more moment. Take your child's pose, just neutralize out your spine. And then, of course, now it went behind the clouds, so now we can continue on. All right, we're going to take one more camel pose. So when you're ready, hands underneath your shoulders, sit back on your heels, get yourself set, and then come up onto your knees. Support your lower back, and I don't really need you to throw your whole head out of whack to see the moon, because it's behind a cloud anyway, so you're not going to see anything. So take a very strong, authentic camel pose here. Supporting your lower back, if you have more advanced postures, hands to the heels works, hands down to the arches of the feet can work. As long as you have your breath, as long as your mind's not running away from you, go where you go, opening your heart, feeling the lift in the heart center, space in the throat, space between the eyes, breathing in, nice Jane, and then breathing out. Support your lower back as you come all the way back up into midline. Excellent. Sit down on your heels, take a breath, and close your eyes, placing your palms down onto your thighs. If you want to take a child's pose, go on ahead, one or the other. Sand in your hair is not going to hurt anybody. Once you get onto the ground, bend your knees, place your feet very close to your backside. I'd like to come up into just one bridge pose here, just a nice little floating bridge. So press down into your feet as you lift your backside and your arms all the way overhead. Yeah. If you prefer a wheel pose, or an extended version of bridge pose, absolutely do what feels right for you. You've already had a nice prep through those camel poses and your cobras and your up dogs. So you may feel ready to do a more advanced variation, but again, you don't need to perform, just practicing. And if you're new to the beach, be careful because the sand will continue to sink your hands down. So watch the stabilizing of your shoulders. Nice. One more breath. Only if you're ready. Lower your backside down. Lower your arms out to the side like a T. Yes. Now, hug your knees deep into your chest, keeping your head down. So just lift up with your knees. Take a deep breath in at the top. And when you're ready to exhale, arms are out to the side like a T. Lower your knees out to the right side. And once they come down, then look over your left shoulder. Maybe keeping your eyes open and just breathing into the sky. I think sea air is the best sleep agent that there is. So if you've been having trouble sleeping, which sometimes happens around the full moon, really concentrate on bringing as much air in and out of the body as possible. On your exhalations, if you can let go of any more holding. One more in-breath. And then a full breath out. Beautiful. When you're ready, using your exhale to draw your knees back into midline, take a breath. And then taking your knees over to the left-hand side. And then maybe your gaze over to the right. One more breath. You want to get up and move to a different part of the beach so that you can see what you want to see. Take your time, but once you make your decision about where you'd like to go, see if you can remain very still now for the last few moments of class. So lying down, turning around, that's it. If you'd like to do a little moon gazing, certainly feel free to turn your body around as well. And then wherever you end up, eyes opened or closed, doesn't matter. Just staying within your own space. Noticing if now, as you bring the breath into the body, can you navigate it through open waters? Can you identify anywhere in the body that still feels as if it is straining, or where it's very, very tight like an obstacle? And can you send that breath there and the pulse of the heart? And take this last opportunity to see if you can negotiate a little bit more breathing room, a little more inner freedom. You're still darting in many directions. You can absolutely just stay with your breath, using the breath as a meditation or as a toggle or a tether to keep you in this present moment. Otherwise, I'll watch over you, and you guys go where you go. Enjoy. Level will rise and fall accordingly through the cycles of the moon. Most people don't even pay attention. When I look at the moon, I can't figure out how you cannot notice. All right, taking one more full breath all the way in. And then as you exhale, placing your hands into heart center, just softly close your eyes just for a moment. Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May our thoughts, our words, and our actions contribute to their happiness and to their freedom. Shanti, shanti, shanti. I wish you peace and a wonderful evening. Namaste.